whispered lie. The Galactic Council hall was silent, too silent. Leaders of many alien species sat around the great table, their glowing eyes watching the human representative. The air smelled of tension. The council speaker, a tall creature with silver skin and 6 fingers, raised his hand and said, "We offer peace to Earth." Ambassador Cade, Earth's voice among the stars, did not smile. He nodded slowly, his eyes scanning the room. He knew the lie hidden behind the pretty words. He had seen the signs long before the council invited Earth to this meeting. Earth had been growing strong, faster than the council expected. In science, in defense, in alliances, the council didn't like it. So they made a plan, a trap, but Earth had been listening. Earth always listened. Back on Earth, deep in a bunker beneath the Atlantic Ocean, General Lin stared at the intercepted messages. Alien languages danced across the screens, translated instantly by AI. The Council's plan was clear. Fake peace, get Earth to lower its guard, then launch a full-scale strike. Lin didn't curse, didn't panic. He just leaned back and whispered, "They think we're fools." Across the solar system, Earth's hidden fleets went dark. No one outside Earth knew how many warships it had. The Council believed Earth had 10 major fleets. The truth was, Earth had 17, and 5 of them had never been seen by any alien eyes. Ambassador Cade returned to his ship, the Silver Dawn. He stood on the bridge, looking at the stars. "Prepare the message," he told the pilot. A young woman named Alara nodded. "To whom, sir?" Cade's voice was calm. "To Earth Defense Command." He looked back at the Council's planet, its towers glowing under a fake sun. "Tell them the Council smiled too much today." The message was short, but powerful. It activated Earth's secret protocol, Operation Iron Veil. Satellites turned LIS. Teaming more closely, spy drones already hidden inside Council systems began feeding data back home. On Mars, the mining colony stopped all exports. Engineers were told to report underground. Weapons that had never been tested were pulled out of vaults. Children were sent to deep shelters, not in fear but in calm preparation. Earth had trusted once, long ago, and Earth had been burned. Humanity learned fast. This time, they would be ready. In space near Jupiter, the battleship Black Star turned its engines off. Its surface went black, absorbing all light. It vanished from radar, invisible even to the best alien tech. Captain Rhodes sat in the command chair, reading the alert. "Operation Iron Veil," he whispered. "So, it begins." Back at the council, the leaders celebrated. They thought they had fooled Earth. They laughed and drank strange glowing liquids. But one alien, a small old creature with green skin, did not laugh. He had seen humans fight once, long ago, and he remembered how they didn't scream or shout. They just moved like shadows and cities fell. He whispered to no one, "You should not poke the silent wolf." Ambassador Cade watched a screen on his ship showing Earth's surface. He saw people walking, smiling, shopping. They didn't know war might come, but they trusted their leaders, their fleets, their soldiers, and most of all, they trusted each other. That was something the Council never understood. Humans did not just fight with weapons, they fought with unity, purpose, and memory. Cade turned to his second-in-command. "They'll make their move soon." She asked, "Should we warn them again?" Cade shook his head slowly. "No," he said. "We already did, many times." He walked to the window, watching the stars again. "They think they're clever," he said, "but we're not the same species that joined their games a decade ago. We don't believe in their peace anymore." The room was silent except for the hum of the ship. The stars blinked gently outside, unaware of the war being planned in silence. But Earth was not blind, and this time when betrayal came, Earth would not cry. It would speak, just one word, and the galaxy would remember it forever. Earth listened in silence, in the void of space, far beyond any star chart the Council believed was accurate. A signal pulsed silently. It was not loud, not flashy, but every coded blink was sharp as a blade. Only one species understood it, and only one world responded. Earth had heard it. No words were spoken, no angry broadcasts, no speeches of war or vengeance, just silence. But silence from Earth was never a sign of weakness. It was a signal, a warning. On the dark side of Luna, Earth's moon. Hundreds of structures opened like steel flowers. What looked like craters revealed hidden weapons, old but not forgotten, long-range missiles, quantum disruptors, deep echo cannons, all coming online at once. General Lin stood inside Command Vault Theta, deep beneath the crust of Earth's North Pole. The vault lights flickered for a moment, switching to red mode. He didn't flinch. "Status?" he asked calmly. His aide replied, "All ghost fleets in position, Mars sector armed, orbital mines reactivated." Lin gave a single nod. "And the AI?" "Fully awake," the aide said. "It's listening to everything." The AI had no name, not anymore. Its only job was to detect betrayal and calculate survival, and it had just given humanity its answer. Respond only if provoked, but respond with finality. Earth didn't scream. It didn't call for allies. It didn't trust anyone beyond its own stars anymore. Every lesson was carved deep into the bones of its history, and betrayal had been humanity's oldest teacher. Aboard the stealth ship Nightwind, drifting near the edge of a nebula, Captain Saul looked at her crew. They were young, trained in silence, eyes cold but focused. She activated a holomap showing dozens of alien fleets moving quietly toward Earth's sectors. "They think we don't see them," she said. Her officer replied, "We see everything." "Good," Saul said. "Let them keep thinking we're blind." Deep in the Pacific Ocean, hidden under a volcano, submarine base Echo 9 came to life. Hundreds of black submarines began to surface like a swarm of shadows. They carried weapons Earth never admitted it had. Weapons that could split a planet's core but would never be used unless Earth was pushed too far. In space, a probe disguised as comet dust floated past a Council warship. It recorded every movement, every transmission, every lie, and sent it back to Earth in a blink of light faster than thought. Ambassador Cade watched the reports roll in aboard the Silver Dawn. He sat in the darkness of his private chamber, only his eyes glowing under the soft screen light. "They're moving fast now," he muttered. His second-in-command leaned forward. "Should we warn the Council?" Cade chuckled. "They're not listening," he said. "They never did." Elsewhere, children played in Earth's parks, unaware of the shifting stars above, but the adults knew. Not in fear, but in readiness. Earth's leaders didn't tell the public to panic. They told them to prepare, as if a storm was coming, not a war. In hidden training grounds across Africa, Asia, and the Arctic, soldiers suited up in armor unseen by alien eyes. It was human-made, cold, and efficient. They trained not for conquest, but for defense so absolute that any strike against Earth would be met with extinction-level response. Earth listened to every whisper across the galaxy. Council leaders joked in private chambers, but Earth systems heard them. Each joke, each sneer, each lie was stored, analyzed, and responded to with calm silence. Because humanity had learned the most dangerous thing it could say was nothing. High above in Earth's orbital ring, an old satellite turned slightly. Its paint was faded, its design ancient, but the tech inside was newer than anything in the galaxy. It opened a single dish, pointed it at deep space, and began transmitting one word to no one and to everyone, just in case: run. It was not sent with fear. It was not sent with rage. It was sent like a whisper across the wind. A message for those who thought humanity still played by their rules. Back aboard the Nightwind, Captain Saul looked at the silent stars. "They're coming," her officer said. Saul smiled. "Let them." Earth didn't want war, but if war was coming, it would not be Earth that fell, because Earth was listening, and Earth remembered, and Earth was ready. The Council moves first. The attack didn't begin with lasers. It started with silence. Sudden, complete silence across Earth's outer colonies. No warning, no sound, no signals. One by one, satellites blinked out. Moonbase Echo stopped responding. Mars Relay Station Delta went black. In less than 4 minutes, Earth's outer eyes were gone. Inside Earth Defense Command, alarms flashed red. General Lin didn't flinch. He stared at the screen where the word "loss" blinked again and again. "They've started," he said quietly. "They think we're blind now." But Earth was never blind. The Council's mistake was simple. They thought Earth kept its eyes on the outside. They didn't know Earth had eyes inside their own systems. At that exact moment, on a Council-controlled moon, a disguised human drone turned on. It recorded Council warships launching under the name training fleets. The drones sent out a pulse and then self-destructed. Earth had seen enough. Ambassador Cade sat calmly in the silver dawn, orbiting the edge of Council space. His hand hovered over a single glowing button. One word blinked on his screen. Authorization. He pressed it. In space near Neptune, Earth's black fleet moved. No engine. There's no sound, just motion, slow, invisible, deadly. The ships had no names, only numbers. They had no flags, only shadows. Their orders were clear. Protect, observe, do not fire unless Earth is touched. And now Earth had been touched. Moonbase Echo wasn't just a research station. It had families, children, civilians. They were gone, wiped out in silence. The Council's lie had turned into murder. General Lin's voice filled every command station. Moonbase Echo is lost. All civilians confirmed dead. The silence that followed was sharp as a blade. Then he spoke again. Operation Stormwatch is now active. In that moment, everything changed. Earth's orbital rings spun faster, deploying hundreds of black drones into space. On Mars, hidden batteries opened, rising like metal giants from red sand. Every major city on Earth activated its emergency grid, not in panic but in focus. The President of Earth stood before a silent camera, broadcasting only one message. To the people of Earth, do not be afraid. To those who struck us, we are not angry. We are awake. Far across the galaxy, the Council watched. Their ships moved toward Earth at full speed. They believed they still had surprise. They believed Earth would beg for peace. They believed wrong. In the Council chamber, a young alien aide rushed in. Earth has not responded to our communication. The speaker narrowed his eyes. What of the colonies? Destroyed, the aide whispered, but no retaliation yet. The speaker smiled. They are afraid. He did not know Earth was not silent out of fear. Earth was silent because it was hunting. On a hidden moon called Ashara 7, a small human base activated. Its mission was not to attack. Its mission was to spread a single message across the stars, a message written in every known language, a single word, run. It echoed through deep space, bouncing between satellites, passing through dark matter relays. Even species not involved in the Council war heard it, and they all paused. Because the word didn't sound like a threat, it sounded like a truth. In the next hour, 5 Council warships vanished. No explosion, no scream, just vanished. They entered Earth space and never came out. One survivor sent a broken message. They were everywhere, in the shadows. We didn't. Then silence. Council panic spread fast. They ordered full invasion fleets. They didn't realize they were walking into Earth's trap. Captain Soul aboard the Nightwind received the go code. She smiled coldly. Release the web, she said. Across hundreds of light years, Earth's stealth net activated. Thousands of mines, drones, traps, and weapons that had waited for years finally woke up. Aliens who had mocked humanity now watched their fleets fall apart without even seeing the enemy. One by one, warships blinked off their radars. Officers screamed, commanders cried, and still Earth had not spoken another word. The Council begged for answers. They sent envoys, they sent lies, they sent promises. But Earth sent nothing back, because Earth had already spoken, and the word was still echoing in the stars. Run, we spoke one word. It came not as a scream, but as a whisper. Not in anger, but in certainty. Not in revenge, but in warning. One word, across every channel, every language, every frequency, translated perfectly, delivered to every planet, every ship, every listening ear in the galaxy. Run. The transmission wasn't flashy. It wasn't wrapped in threats or fire. There was no face on the screen, no flag, no anthem, just black space. And the word, at first, some laughed. On the Council homeworld, elites chuckled in their towers. They're bluffing, one said. Humans always talk big, said another, but the LB order faded fast because as the word echoed, Council fleets vanished. Entire formations gone from radar, no explosions, no debris, just silence. Commanders screamed for answers, admirals yelled for reinforcements, but nothing came back. From one end of the galaxy to the other, Earth's hidden power revealed itself, not through force, but through control. They had planned this for years, maybe decades. No one knew Earth had mapped every hyperlane. No one believed Earth had seeded cloaked satellites in every quadrant. But Earth had. Captain Sol watched from her ship, the Night Wind, as Council destroyers flew right past her. "They don't even know we're here," her officer whispered. Sol nodded. "They won't. Not until it's too late." Far above a Council-controlled planet, 6 human warships uncloaked in perfect silence. Each one broadcast the same word, "Run." Then they vanished faster than the enemy could aim. Panic spread like wildfire. Civilians fled, planets screamed into the void, and still, Earth didn't send armies. No invasions, no occupations, just run. The Council's most powerful fleet gathered near a gas giant called Volta. They were sure Earth would strike there next. They brought everything. Flagships, carriers, elite soldiers. They waited for war. Instead, they received a message. A quiet voice came through the darkness, human, steady, unshaken. "You came with lies, you came with poison. We came with warning. This is your last chance." The Council Admiral screamed back, "Cowards!" He gave the order to attack, and in that moment the stars changed. From within the gas giant, shapes emerged, massive, glowing, armored. Human ships had hidden inside the storms, unseen, undetected, waiting. What followed was not a battle, it was a lesson. The Council fleet didn't fight. They vanished, one by one, torn apart by weapons too fast to see, too smart to miss. Within minutes, the flagship lost control, its systems overwritten, its engines shut down. A voice came over the intercom. "Earth warned you," then silence, then fire. Elsewhere, neutral species watched in frozen fear. For years, they had ignored Earth. Some mocked it, others feared it. Now all of them respected it. On the trade world of Zynar, alien children stared at the word glowing in the skies. Run, no ships, no fire, just that single word. The message was clear. Earth didn't want conquest. Earth wanted one thing: never be betrayed again. In the hidden council fortress of Vareth Prime, leaders met in secret, their faces pale, their hands shaking. One leader spoke, "We must apologize." Another shouted, "They won't listen." A third whispered, "Then we run." In every dark place the council once ruled, fear replaced power, because Earth was not marching through the galaxy. Earth was already there, watching, listening, deciding, stars on fire. The first star turned red at midnight, not from heat, not from science, but from fire. Fire born not from nature, but from Earth. Across the galaxy, worlds looked up and saw their skies change. Planets once bright with peace now glowed with the colors of war. Council ships burned in orbit. Silent metal tombs spinning like forgotten toys. Every corner of space the Council once ruled now cracked under pressure. But Earth had not sent soldiers. No human stepped foot on foreign soil. Instead, Earth sent shadows, signals, and silence. The war wasn't fought with numbers. It was fought with precision. One target, one strike, one message. Again and again, run. General Lin sat in the war chamber beneath Antarctica. Around him, holograms of enemy fleets flickered and fade, dead as they vanished from space. "Council High Fleet Delta has been wiped," an officer said. "No survivors." Lin gave no smile, no cheer. "This is not victory," he said. "This is a reminder." He turned to a technician. "Activate Skyfall pattern over Sector 12. The technician paused. "That's their capital planet," Lin nodded. "And?" The technician answered without hesitation. "Understood." In Council capital orbit, hundreds of satellites blinked to life. None were weapons, not directly. They were mirrors, amplifiers, reflectors of solar fire, and with a single silent pulse, they turned the planet's upper skies into a wall of light. Council citizens screamed, believing the sun was exploding. Ships launched into the air in panic and were quietly tagged, tracked, and marked by Earth's watching satellites. None were destroyed, not yet. But they now knew they were never safe again. Captain Sol sat aboard the Night Wind, drifting in a gravity well. The crew had no emotion on their faces, only focus. "Enemy fleet incoming," her officer said, heavily armed. Sol stared ahead. "Engage silence protocol." The Night Wind vanished from scans, became part of the dark. Seconds later, Earth's orbital weapons shredded the incoming fleet before they even knew they were seen. Not a single warning shot, no speeches, no names, only silence. And then came the fire, and the galaxy finally understood. It wasn't Earth that was surrounded, it was the Council, alone, exposed, hunted. No more lies, no more tricks. The game was over, because when Earth was silent, it was planning, and when Earth spoke, it only needed one word. From across known space, Earth's precision strikes hit Council fuel depots, hidden fortresses, data vaults, each one destroyed not by brute force, but by exact knowledge. Earth knew where to hit, it always had. The Council begged for communication. They sent messages of peace, of apology. They sent lies wrapped in smiles. Earth did not respond because Earth was done speaking. In the center of the galaxy, the ancient Council beacon, once a symbol of unity, was reduced to ash by a single human drone carrying no weapons, just a virus. One drop of human code that erased centuries of Council control in under 1 hour. The galaxy watched, and for the first time in generations, the stars felt fear. Not fear of death, but fear of being watched, being judged, by a species that did not brag, did not gloat. A species that only whispered run. Alien refugees began to pour into neutral zones. Even species once loyal to the Council abandoned their flags. No one wanted to be near them. No one wanted to be caught in Earth's gaze. One Council general tried to rally his forces. "We are the galaxy's rulers," he shouted, but his voice shook, because deep down he knew the galaxy had already crowned a new fear, and it had a human face. Ambassador Cade stood on the bridge of the Silver Dawn, watching stars flicker across the map. Every light that vanished was a Council stronghold falling. A quiet officer stepped forward. "Sir, they are offering surrender." Cade said nothing. He simply turned off the screen. Far below, on a planet untouched by war, a child looked up. In her eyes, the stars danced in red and gold. She didn't know who caused the fire, but her father did. He whispered to her, "That's what happens when you lie to Earth." In the ancient halls of the Council, once filled with pride and power, silence took over. Their walls burned, their titles meaningless, and carved into the floor of their last meeting chamber was a message. No one knew how it got there, but every alien read it and trembled. "We spoke peace. You gave us lies. Now we give you fire. And still, we only say one word. Run, the collapse of power." The galaxy had no rulers anymore. The Council still existed, but only in name. Their halls were empty, their fleets shattered, and their flags, once flying on every world, now hung in silence, torn and forgotten. Power had not changed hands, it had simply collapsed, and all of it began with one lie, a lie to Earth. Now the lie had burned across systems, across time, across belief. In the ruins of Council Station Varnak, 5 surviving leaders met in secret. They spoke in hushed voices, not out of respect but fear, not of humans they could see, but of those they couldn't. One asked, "Where are they now?" Another replied, "Everywhere." The third whispered, "And nowhere." Because Earth didn't occupy, it didn't march with banners or demand tribute, it simply erased. When it struck once, clean, silent, final, and then it disappeared, like a shadow that had never been there. General Lin stood before the United Human Assembly back on Earth. He didn't raise his voice, he didn't wear medals, but when he spoke, the room froze. "The Council is broken," he said. "They may offer peace again, but we will not accept the same games." He looked at the live camera, broadcasting across the stars. To those who watched us burn and said nothing, we are watching now. That message echoed louder than any weapon. Entire planets that once pledged loyalty to the Council now sent signals to Earth, not to fight but to ask for mercy. Some expected Earth to demand control, to take over their worlds, but Earth didn't want power. It only wanted truth. Captain Sol received orders not to strike, but to release. She led her fleet to former Council-controlled planets, but instead of invading, she activated the global AI systems. Messages appeared on every screen. "You are free, but remember who freed you." On the planet Zarin 3, the people cried in the streets. They had been slaves to the Council for centuries. Now they danced under human satellites, and when a human ship passed overhead, they didn't run. They waved Omaisen. Earth had become more than a planet. It had become a symbol, not of power, but of judgment. The galaxy learned quickly. If you speak truth, Earth listens. If you offer peace, Earth responds. But if you betray, Earth doesn't warn you twice. On the edge of Council space, one last fleet stood defiant, led by Admiral Koth, the last warlord. He sent one final message to Earth. We will not kneel, he said. We will not run. Earth answered the same way it had from the beginning. One word, run. Koth laughed. I'm not afraid. But his crew was. Half of them deserted before the battle even began. And when Earth's black fleet appeared, silently, suddenly, the rest surrendered without a shot fired because they knew the truth. You cannot fight shadows that never miss. You cannot kill what is already behind you. Earth didn't destroy them. They were disarmed, scanned, and sent home, but not before hearing one final whisper in their minds. From human AIs, deep and cold, this was mercy. Ambassador Cade returned to Earth, his mission complete. He had never raised a weapon, never given a threat. He had only watched and waited. At the assembly, he spoke one sentence. They lied to us, and they learned humans do not forget. The galaxy was quiet now, not peaceful but quiet, because peace comes from trust, and trust must be earned again. And Earth waited, not in fear but in strength, among stars still glowing red from fire, and ruins still smoking from lies. A single beacon pulsed from Earth's orbit. Its message never changed. It never needed to. Run, and still. We don't chase. They fled. The ones who once ruled the stars, the same leaders who smiled while signing peace, then sharpened blades behind Earth's back. They were now shadows, hiding in deep space, in broken ships, in forgotten corners of the galaxy. And Earth did not chase them. Across Council space, power had collapsed, not because Earth had taken it, but because Earth refused it. People expected Earth to rise as the new ruler, to send armies, to rewrite laws, to place flags on every planet. But Earth sent no conquerors, no kings, no emperors, only silence. Ambassador Cade stood in the heart of the assembly. The lights around him flickered like quiet stars. Reporters from 1,000 worlds watched, waiting for Earth's demands. Cade spoke gently. We don't want your worlds. He paused, letting the silence breathe. We want our peace, and we want our warning remembered. On the scorched ruins of the Council homeworld, humans built no cities. They left no monuments, no bases. They planted trees. They left seeds, and a single message carved into stone, in every language. Do not lie again. We are still here. We remember. We warned. Run. In a distant asteroid field, the last Council fleet floated broken. Admiral Koth, now a fugitive, sat alone in a dark bridge. He watched old news footage of human ships, of burned skies, of silent warnings. Over and over he whispered, they could have destroyed us all. His second-in-command, trembling, asked, why didn't they? Koth closed his eyes. Because they didn't want to become us. Earth's power came not from control, but from restraint. The galaxy finally understood. Humanity had the strength to rule, and the wisdom not to. On the neutral planet of Vasha, a council of alien leaders gathered, not Earth's council, their own. For the first time in centuries, non-human species met without fear. They didn't fear Earth's weapons anymore. They feared Earth's memory, and they wanted to never repeat the mistake. Captain Sol stood at the edge of a cliff on Mars, her helmet off, her eyes watching the stars. Her ship waited behind her, silent as always. Her mission was over, but she knew Earth's silence wasn't weakness. It was patience. We'll wait, she said softly, and if they try again, we'll remind them. The stars slowly began to heal. Burned planets grew green again. Alien children, who had been born during the war, began to learn new names. Names like Cade, Lin, Sol, not as enemies, but as guardians. And still, Earth didn't chase because Earth didn't want revenge. It wanted remembrance. In orbit around Earth, the old satellite turned one last time, its message unchanged, its power fading, but the signal was strong enough to reach the edge of known space. There, in a dark system no longer on maps, one alien heard it. He had been young when the war began, now old, hiding. He opened the signal and heard the word again. It was not loud, it was not angry. but it made his bones cold. Run, because Earth had only spoken once, and it was enough to shake the stars. On Earth, humans returned to building, to dreaming, to living. The war was over, but the lesson remained. They knew peace was never permanent, and trust was always fragile. So they didn't close the doors, but they didn't forget either. And to those who still whispered betrayal in distant shadows, to those who believed they could try again, Earth had one final message, sent not in hate but in truth. We won't chase you, we don't need to, because if you ever return, we will not speak again. You already know the word.